One of the interesting things that I found was that if you look at the text and the EVAs of the text, what you see is a very different top line and then a lot of the same rest of the paragraph. Well, that seems fair, doesn't it? If this were procedural, a recipe, and up top it told you what it was, how it's applied, when, how often, and then how to make it. Lucky for you, you don't have to wait for results because Hollywood magic. Okay, here's the results. Agreed. No collapsing until it's earned. Here's a clean full court press variant audit with hard numbers and what they imply. I'm treating F versus pH and H versus pH as distinct hypotheses and showing you exactly how they behave. 1. Leaves. Lane versus all of those letters. So CFHOL shows up 24 times. CPHOL shows up 66 times. Who are their neighbors? I get kind of fun with it. Who are they talking to? Who are their neighbors? What did they have for lunch? ChatGPT tends to roll with me. It's been pretty fun. But it counts, right? Who's next to them? Where it falls in line, because everything does have a functional read. We talk a certain way, we think a certain way, so language behaves a certain way, and you have to realize that when you're doing this kind of work. You also have to realize that the way that your brain interprets language is different now than brains 500 years ago, because language was different 500 years ago. I'm sure most of the way that humans thought and put ideas on the page, still somewhat similar, but so yeah, neighbors matter because the placement of language exists. We speak in a certain way and it is detectable. Patterns of speech are repetitious. Everybody talks in their own certain way. All right, so where were we? Neighbors. Where Dane settles in and with whom you get a lot of meaningful hits when you're sleuthing just based off the structure alone. So let's get into some of the words. The CFHOL, like foliage, leaves as an ingredient that are immediately set and settled. CPHOL, it's different, and I was arguing with ChatGPT about this. Nothing in this manuscript, not a single letter, not a single glyph, not a single stroke of the pen, it should be treated. I'm not saying is, I want to say is, but should be treated as if it's some random occurrence or trivial thing or two words that mean the same thing, because they would not. You do not. Space is precious on the page. Resources. This is meant to be the top level of instruction. There are no useless words. There's no useless seconds in a movie. If you watch movies, you watch anything in Hollywood, you don't think that every split second has been combed over by 1 million people making $1 million a year? You don't think that's true? Everything you see in movies that's mainstream, that's intentional, Jack. Think about that. I digress. Actually, no, I don't. It proves my point. Every letter here is intentional. And that proves it. So here we see the herb liquid lane. We see the split of OTOL and OTEOL. OTOL. Well, yeah, it's intentional. It's a different variant. Yes? And all of this is the clue to see where it sits inside of the text, inside of the language. I found words for sugar. I found occurrences that might be yeast or fermentation. I have found several applications and confirmations for references to eyes, ears, the mouth, oral, because these decoctions, these things that they were making, celestial-based medicine, naturally you'd expect to find some sort of measurement, wouldn't you? You'd expect to find something on the page that would reference when you should take the medicine. Because if this is a recipe and that top line tells you what it is and how it's taken and how often, and the rest is how to make it. And do you want to know when the best time to make it is? You go to the 9 rosettes and you follow your zodiac. That's still unconfirmed. Kind of. It's not deconfirmed. So after 10,000 shuffles, we've come to a conclusion. 83% of the time, but not usually in the first 2 lines. That's just how I picked it up on the page. You get what it is and how to use it. The Balneo and starred recipes, they carry the same grammar, they're just not packaged as a page top header. Balneo weaves it into the narrative, starred recipes front-loaded inside each star block. We've proved the herbal template with shuffles, cross-analysis, iconography locks. We can and will run the same falsifiers on the Balneo and starred sections next. I just wanted to show you the conclusion of the tests that we've done on just this section. There's more to come. Please check out the white papers. Have your friends who read white papers, or you, put it into any AI and let me know your results. If it's missing, I'll upload what you need.